always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. My guess. What's good, people in the world? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Happy Monday. What's good, people? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to the fun stuff. Welcome to the party life. Welcome to the party life. Hey, can you hear me? Can you see me? I gotta wait for the first confirmation that I could be heard and seen, because that's the precaution that we take now on this channel, because several times I've just gone off into a diatribe and no one could hear me and or see me. So are we here? Are we good? Are we here? Are we good? Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Nobody's responding. All right. I'm just going to assume that y'all can hear me and see me. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Welcome. Welcome, welcome to the Lunchtime Rant. I'm your boy AJ. Hope all is good. Anyway, did you have a good weekend? Was your weekend great? Was it all good? Was it all gravy? Anyway, mine was okay. No sleep till Brooklyn, but we're here. We have a good little lunchtime program arranged for you today. Anyway, let's start here with some not so good news. So NFL cornerback Kris Boyd is in critical condition after being shot in the abdomen. Now it's unclear if he knew the people. It was said that right before he got shot, he said in the restaurant that he was ready to go because he didn't like the vibe or whatever. And so that could mean several things. That could mean, you don't like the energy in the room, so you just want to go, or you see some people that you may or may not know and you just trying to get out of the way before some stupid stuff happens. But here's a little piece from Fox News on it.
Investigators have yet to make any arrests, but a manhunt is underway right now. Police say Boyd was with a group of friends outside a restaurant on West 38th Street when a dispute broke out, ending with multiple shots fired. Reports say two vehicles then quickly fled the scene, a BMW SUV that the shooter was allegedly in, and a high-end silver Maybach. According to New York Post, police obtaining surveillance footage of a car with Michigan plates driving out of a parking garage and crashing into a barrier as another person inside opened fire at the crowd. Now, while it's unknown if Boyd was their intended target, sources also tell the Post, quote, Boyd and two other Jets players left that area because he didn't like the vibe and sent some tension between other groups who were arguing with each other just before he was shot. A spokesperson for the New York Jets saying, quote, we are aware of the situation involving Kris Boyd and will have no further comment at this time. Boyd was on the Jets' injured reserve list at the time due to a shoulder injury. A friend of the cornerback tells the New York Post he is in good condition, but the investigation is ongoing.
All right. So Fox News also released this is a picture from surveillance cameras of the person of interest. So this is the suspect. He is a black dude with locks and looks like a black or dark green beanie and a dark colored jacket. So if you see this person, say something. Uh, and prayers for Kris and his family. I've seen like what happens when you get shot in that area. I mean, getting shot period is not fun. And, nobody's saying that, but when the abdomen, like, it expands, and it's a lot going on for that young man right now. So hopefully he can play again, and hopefully this doesn't affect his job. I don't know, him being on injury reserve. I don't know what the exact boundaries are in terms of that. He's a Texas native, so I don't know if he ever lived in New York or anything like that, or if he was involved in something. But whatever happened, it was totally unnecessary and ridiculous. And it's just a damn shame that people can't go out and just enjoy themselves without stupidity happening. So prayers to Kris Boyd, and let's catch this person in the picture. So be on the lookout. Now let's talk about, oh gosh. So this is gospel singer Yolanda Adams. This inspired a whole thing that I'm going to go over on Friday during my Rant Experience podcast. I'm literally going to just unpack all of these gospel artists who are notably missing from the White House right now because they fear losing their money and their clout in the black community over actually being quote unquote people, men and women of Christ. Anyway, phenomenal singer. Um, used to be one of my favorite artists in the genre, but she's starting. This is a 64-year-old woman, and she's starting to sound more and more like a 25-year-old with a septum ring. Take a look.
I don't think that God is this small entity that people are trying to make him or her or it because
Trying to make him or her or it. Now, I believe the person here in this bottom box, I'm not sure because I can't really tell, but I believe that's a transgendered person named T.S. Madison. I could be mistaken, but I could be mistaken, but it looks like them, but I can't really make it out. But clearly she's talking to the community, and she's trying to, lighten it to keep the money flowing.
he is spirit. Because we are of the mind of calling things, gender wise, because that's how we grew up. I'm just
right. Gender wise. So show me in the Bible where it says God is she or it. If you can show me biblically within scripture, if you could show me in scripture where it refers to God as she or it, I will shut up. I will stand corrected, Miss Adams. I will stand corrected. But there's nowhere in the Bible where it does that, right? Right. So this sudden, which is not sudden because she did a Kamala Harris video, like a endorsement of Kamala Harris. That should have been the first sign right there that there was a problem. But she's also part of that whole world with like Roland Martin and all of that stuff. So it's just weird to me how people can still be called gospel singers or even be involved, like in some sort of major capacity within the church and still like hold position. Like, I don't get it. I don't get how that happens, but these people do. And again, like I said, she's a great singer, but this is absolutely ridiculous. He, she, or it. Okay.
You to say if he was going to be surprised by you, he wouldn't have created you because it's.
So that was the placation to the community, oh, Shirley. If there's one thing we know about Shirley Caesar, is she is not with the mess. And she would, if she was sitting on this panel, the great Shirley Caesar, who's in the fourth quarter of her life, as she says, and she don't want to be bothered with no drama. But if she was sitting on this panel, she would have been like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But when you're talking to, I don't know if all these people are in the community, but they all look sus. Um, but clearly she's placating this watered down prosperity, everyone's included gospel, that you can just remain yourself and be whomever you want to be with no repercussions or no growth in Christ. Christ has to mold to you. You don't mold to Christ.
How you think God is surprised just because you're surprised? And if he made all things, and
so God made all things. No. You know what? God gave us all free will. We all have free will. We have free will to do good. We have free will to do bad. We have free will to do disgusting, creative, stupid, amazing things. We have the free will to do all of that. That's what God gave us. Right. God didn't say, I'm going to make you transgendered. Again, show me in the scripture where it says that. Find me the transgendered person in the Bible where God was like, I have blessed you, my transgendered child.
he created all things. God is a God of variety.
Oh, God is a God of variety. Is that in the scripture? God said he's a God of variety. He like Neapolitan ice cream. What is God like?
God is a God of diversity. We wouldn't have a million genuses of flowers.
So now flowers. We have a million types of flowers. So because the flowers are different, transgender people fit in that. Boy, oh boy, there's no winning.
He were not. I just believe that God entrusts us with his power to make the world a better place, to encourage and inspire, to uplift.
Yeah, you can encourage and inspire and uplift. You can do all of those great things. Being inspirational, uplifting people, and empowering people does not mean you encourage degeneracy. That's not what it means. Yeah, be more of what I know is destructive. Be more of the thing that isn't gonna work for you. Be more of that. Yeah, because that's brilliant.
Never to put what we think on somebody else. I can tell you how much your God loves by the people you hate.
Oh, so now it's hate. Because of course, we're going to act like the Bible doesn't say anything about sin, and the Bible, we're supposed to pick and choose which parts of the Bible we like, and if anything is called out we don't like, we can sort of disregard it because we have free will, right? So you can kind of just disregard it and act like it never existed, and this woman is 64 years old, I believe, so she's been in the church and in the word and in that whole thing way longer than I have. And I'm like, lady, that's not how that works. And we conflate correction. We think correction is hatred. Correction is not hatred. So stop it. And of course, they started, ooh, that's a word. That's a word. The transgender at the bottom. Ooh, you confirming that dick between my legs and my titties. No. Wait a minute.
We've heard it since we were kids. God is love. 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 But if God is love, how come you hate the person he in love created?
No. See, this is this watered down stuff that I'm talking about. Yes, God is love. Love does not mean there's no correction. Love doesn't mean the person is forced to accept everything that you do and say. That's not love. That's enabling people to do bad and stupid things. Why would I encourage you to be more mentally ill? We don't encourage schizophrenics to be more schizophrenic. No, we want them to be treated so that they can mingle in a civil society. It's the same thing with these people. We literally have women screaming at the top of their lungs in the middle of a gym lobby because y'all are allowing mentally ill men into their locker rooms. But no, 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 they're the problem. They hate because God made this thing. No, God gave you free will. That's what God gave you.
Because that tells me a lot about what you believe God is. Because if you believe God is God of all, but only in your skin color, that's kind of antithetical to who he is.
Well, that's one thing she finally said that's somewhat correct. This whole black church, white church, this church, that church, I don't care. Is the spirit in here? That's what I care about. I don't care, and I'm not. I just saw this online on Christian YouTube, where this young lady who came from the Catholic Church, and I believe she went to not a Baptist church. I forgot the type of church, but it's a church where they have like long worship music segments. And she was just like, she hates it. She just wants, what she really wants is the word. Like, she wants to be able to go get the word from the pastor, right? And she wants to hear the word. She doesn't want all this singing and falling out and all of this. She's just not with it, And so, and I get it. It's a cultural thing, sometimes. But it, look, Yolanda, Miss Adams, this is categorically ridiculous. You're doing this because you want to keep your brownie points in Hollywood and all these dark rooms you go into and all these artists you work with, and I understand that. But this is why people like you need to be called out for these things, for these specific things, because you can't say you are this you're this gospel singer, you're imparting the word of God, and then still try to be like the world. That doesn't really work. I mean, you've mastered it and made millions doing it, but that's not, no, you can't take that to heaven with you. Yes, Jay Lee, this is Yolanda Adams. Yes, that Yolanda Adams. That Yolanda Adams. Yes, 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 yes. Lord, wrap this up.
All knowing, all loving, all seeing, all doing. So I have a problem with people who say they love God, but hate God's sons and daughters.
Nobody hates God's sons and daughters. Now, there is hatred in the world, but to say that comes through people who believe in God, no, correction is not hate. No, telling you what is sin and what isn't is not hatred. And then we have this whole debate on the homosexual thing. And the problem is, first of all, it's thrown in our face every 2 seconds. So when something's thrown in your face all the time and you comment on it, and you have people literally saying, well, you can't comment on this. And, why are you, oh gosh, it's always about us. Oh, why are you always talking about gay folks? Because they're everywhere. You can't turn on Netflix without a rainbow flag popping up, And so when all of that is in your face and then you comment on it, now it's a problem. Stop playing with us. It's like, you don't encourage an adulterer to be more of an adulterer, right? You don't encourage a glutton to eat more, right? You don't encourage people to live in their sin and do more of their sin. You don't encourage that, right? So why would you encourage this? This is what's being said here. There's a difference between hating somebody and encouraging them to be better. You don't come to Christ to continue living and being like the world. That's not how that works, Sway. Sorry to break the news to you. That's just not how that works. So Yolanda Adams, I understand why you're doing it. You got to keep that money flowing. You can't piss nobody off. If you piss off the rainbows, they gonna come after your money and probably take your opportunities and your morning show and your singing engagements and all of that stuff. So I get it, but can we get back to the real ones who just kept it a buck? Like CC Winans, like the Winans family. Remember when Vicky, Angie, Deb and Angie Winans came out and they did that whole album where they was talking about the real, and they caught a lot of flack. I think it was like the early 2000s or something like that. Can we get back to that where people really said it like they meant it? Because it wasn't from a place of hate. It's from a place of, I want better for you and you should want better for yourself. Because going down the road of mutilating yourself is not empowerment. You know, going down the road of being promiscuous and living a debaucherous lifestyle isn't empowering you. And then you look at the suicide rates in that community, you look at the depression rates in that community, you look at the disease in that community, and then you're telling me that's happiness. I'm a little confused, but maybe it's just me. Anyway, I mean, am I talking Swahili? I mean, I believe I'm speaking good English here, but anyway, let's tiptoe along here to another. Well, she's annoying. Yolanda Adams just irritated me with this subject. Michelle Obama is continuing her hate tour. We hate white people tour. And white people, you better listen. And white people, you the problem. And white people, white people, white people, white people, white people, white people, white. Does she ever has she done an interview in the last 5 years where she's not mentioned I'm a black woman and white people? Has she done one where it's just about life, living life, loving life, the privilege you get to take advantage of, the privilege that absolutely most of us will never ever have the opportunity to experience? Does she ever just do that? Is it always this?
Worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a.
Now you're talking, and you know what's so funny? Sorry. Tracy Ellis Ross here is half Jewish, I believe. She's either half white or half Jewish. Either way, Diana Ross is her mama. You know, it's so funny how biracial people can disregard the white parent so quickly. Like it's so easy to just disregard. Meanwhile, if you are a biracial person who disregards your black parent, oh, you hate yourself. You're the one drop rule, and you were still blah, 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 you ain't know how society views you. I don't give a damn what society views me as. Who am I? Right? Right. You can view me as whatever you want. I know who I am. So you're sitting here insulting white people in front of a half either white or Jewish woman, and then you're gonna sit here and say this stupid stuff.
A curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of
This is such a antiquated argument. This is such an old, ridiculous argument. Black women wear their hair in all types of styles in corporate America now. You know, this maybe if this was 1985, we could probably have a conversation about this, but this is such an outdated, ridiculous argument at this point.
That's why so many of us can't swim.
So now black people can't swim because they didn't want to get their hair wet. Why do we have the swim caps? I recall when I was a kid and we went to swim, the girls would wear swim caps. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about Willis. what, oh God.
And we run away from the water.
Yes, we run away from the water. No. No, that's just something we believe that's genetic. We believe genetically black people can't swim. That's not a genetic thing. It's just nobody taught you how to do it. And you have swim caps.
People won't go to the gym.
Oh, now people won't go to the gym because they don't want their nappy hair to get frizzy. She's doing this on purpose. This is all deliberate. This is deliberate to keep us divided, to keep us fighting about dumb stuff, to keep black people in cycles of victimhood, your hair is nappy. You're never gonna make it in corporate America. You have to have straight hair. I mean, it's just stupid at this point.
Because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time.
I've known women of many backgrounds, and they all spend hours. All of them. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever. They all spend hours getting their hair done. Am I wrong? Is this something I'm missing here? Hours in the beauty salon isn't unique to Black women. Getting dyes and cuts and whatever the other terminology is, and tints and perms and all types of stuff. So I don't get it. I don't get why she is disseminating that this is somehow unique to Black women. All women spend hours in the beauty salon.
Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't. It just.
Oh my gosh. What are the white people running around touching hair still? White people, y'all still touching hair? Oh God. Y'all still running around here touching Black folks' hair. Stop touching Black people. Let them Black people be. You know, there's a lot going on. It's a struggle. Ooh, wait. Cause I can't do no more, sir. Anyway, we'll be back in a moment with the main course.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Listen. Is MAGA dead? No. No, I don't think MAGA's dead. But listen. I told y'all this was gonna happen. I said this right after the 2020 election. I remember I made a video, I believe it was 2021, where it was satire, but it was like, I'm a conservative. And then it's a cut back between myself and the person who's a new conservative. And I'm like, what kind of conservative are you? And they're like, huh? And then there's like, well, what kind of conservative are you? You know, and then I go over the different types of conservatives, and I'm like, you know, there's levels to this. It's not just because a lot of times people think conservative means rigid, no humor. Conservatives don't have vices, or conservatives are human beings just like everybody else. You know, human beings just like every other group of people, right? So there's good and there's bad and there's ugly and there's indifferent. And so when you sit back and you join a group without understanding what that group is, I said when Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, I said This is going to be the test. This is going to be the test between who was actually in this for real and who was in it because Donald Trump was up. And when Donald Trump was confirmed, he wasn't going back. He won. Joe Biden was in, and then everyone started showing their true colors. Oh, there's racism on the conservative side. Conservatives and rigid, they don't, first of all, this is why I say it's good to be politically mature. When you're politically immature, this is what you get, right? When you don't understand where you stand in this, that's where the confusion comes in. And then when you meet dummies, you conflate them with conservatives, not realizing they're not conservatives. Those are those right wingers. Those are those people that go all the way. They're basically where the left and the right, both extremes, are ridiculous. That's what that is. And y'all conflate that with conservative. And then you have no understanding of what conservatism is, what the ideology is, how it fits in the political sphere, and when you really see it manifest politically. You don't know any of that stuff. Prince, you're not a bigoted conservative. I'm done. But so this rift between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. Let's unpack this for a little bit, shall we? So I knew something was up when Marjorie Taylor Greene's tune started changing, right? She was very Trump. She was Trump, 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 Trump. And then a little earlier this year, the banter started to get a little different, right? Which is fine because I've had my critiques of Trump. I've had my critiques of the administration, and as you should, right? But these critiques didn't seem authentic. They seemed like there was something driving the critiques. And of course, as Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know. I don't know, but I know. I think that's her saying. I don't know, but I know. And so I was like, this is being driven by something. And of course, we didn't know what it was. But obviously, when your tune starts to change a little bit. And so then it became a thing with the Epstein files. And then it became a thing with immigration. And then it became all of these things that weren't an issue before. But suddenly, now it's a problem. Why is this a problem all of a sudden? Oh, well, let Scott break it down for you.
I do think it started with that political engagement. When they sent her that poll, that's when you start to see everything change. She opposed the president on his Middle East policy, attacking the Houthi rebels, attacking Iran. She's opposed the president on deportations this summer. So she has sort of become a policy opponent of the president, but I think it really all started with that political engagement, and now she's one of his most frequent critics on some of what I would argue has been his biggest successes this year. And if you want to count yourself as an ally of the President of the United States, it's not great to go out and run out to The View and other places and crap on him 24 hours a day. I mean, that's essentially what she's become. It's a well-worn path. A lot of other Republicans who've turned on the president have done that too.
But there's a difference.
Well said, Scott. So what happened is, Marjorie Taylor Greene has political career. She has career ambition, right? She either wants to be a senator for the state of Georgia or the governor of the state of Georgia. Now, Donald Trump, being the supporter he is, said, look, these internal polls do not look good. He said, look, you're polling you're at least 10 points behind the person in first place. It's probably not a good thing you do it now, or, this may not be, or it may not be the route for you to go. Now, that's the type of friend you want around, because sometimes you do need a friend to say, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but maybe this isn't the best thing, right? And it doesn't mean the person doesn't want you to succeed. It doesn't mean they don't, they're hating or they're jealous, or it means they want you to be realistic about your chances here, right? So if you take this big risk and it doesn't, and it's not a logical risk, right? It's the path to victory is not really clear here, right? You do well in your little bubble. That's like AOC, right? AOC gets elected by a small district in New York City. That's part of the Bronx and Queens. Now, how she would do nationally is different, right? Different. or she ran for senator of New York. That's way different. You know, it's one thing to be the congresswoman for the 14th district in New York, but it's another to try to run for to aspire to higher office. And so when it's not looking good, don't make the move. Byron Donalds went for running for governor because there's a path to victory for him, right? If there wasn't a path to victory, I don't think he would have taken the job in the administration that he was offered, but he said, "No, I want to be governor." So so you would rather, I don't know, in my theory, you would have rather Donald Trump had blown smoke up your katukas and just said, yeah, go do it, and then fail miserably, trying to rally the people of Georgia behind you after you've been seen in the media as extreme or dingy, or radical or a little out there. So that's sort of the prototype of you. So when that's what people are saying they're experiencing of you, and you decide, well, that's, I can fix all that. Well, in a year, I don't know. And you're also a sitting congresswoman, so you also have those duties, so you'll be doing a lot. you know but here's Marjorie Taylor Greene on CNN, of course, because she didn't go on. Did she go on Fox News? I don't think she did. I don't think she went on any right leaning network. But of course, here she is on another left leaning network, um, planting seeds and then trying to backtrack at the same time.
I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country, and that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it has divided our country, split up friends and families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems.
I have no idea what that has to do with. Listen, yes, own your part, take accountability. I get that. But I don't get what this has to do with the bigger picture. People are going to fight. They're going to disagree. They're going to have fights at Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all the other holidays that they're together. That's the climate we're in. We've all contributed to it in some way.
The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor.
Do you not understand why he would call you a traitor? Marjorie Taylor Greene, do you not understand why he would call you a traitor? I mean, you literally did a 180 like that. The Epstein files wasn't this sort of indictment that Trump was in it or he was guilty of something. It was never that. The Epstein files was never about that. The Epstein files are being used as a distraction, which is why we're going to have this vote. We're going to get this stuff released and hopefully be done with it, right? And so Donald Trump is trying to go forward with his duties, and you're holding this Epstein thing over his head, like he said, like he campaigned on it, like it was part of Agenda 47. I don't know. Maybe it was. Did I miss something? What was it in Agenda 47? Maybe I missed it.
And that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
Don't give Democrats any ideas. Because it wouldn't be MAGA. It wouldn't be a Republican, a real one. This would be a thing that you would get from a Democrat. So don't radicalize the Democrats, Donald Trump, the ones that are trying to kill you as well. But they want to get Marjorie Taylor Greene for some reason. No, people are going to be mean to you online. They are, people will have more loyalty to Trump for whatever reason, because that's their president. And this is, they voted for him to do the big change, and then you were one of the soldiers in the big change. And then the soldier didn't get what she wanted. So now the soldier wants to go do all these liberal talkies and talk smack. So yeah, Trump's not happy with it, and he has the right to say it. Exactly, Prince. Did we forget? This man almost got his head blown off twice. So, yeah, Marjorie Taylor. I mean, whatever.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the reason for this?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations. And I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking.
Does she forget she's in Congress? Did she forget that? You're in Congress. You know, and I do believe she cares about victims. I do believe that part. Most of us care about victims, but this was the way this is being used is not to support victims. This is being used for political points. This is being misused, I should say, for political points. This is not being used because these people give a damn about these victims. They didn't give a damn about Ashley Biden saying she was a victim. They didn't give a damn about the victims on Hunter Biden's laptop. They didn't give a damn about none of that. So that's how you know this is all about politics. If there was no mention of Donald Trump, if Epstein and Trump never knew each other, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. And you know it. And you're playing right into the BS, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So you don't understand why you're being called a traitor?
And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And I don't.
Yes. I need these grocery prices down. I don't give a fuck about an Epstein file. I think that's the sentiment of a real American right now. Yeah, some people want the files. Get the fucking files to the people. I don't know how the fuck that changes anything for you in your personal life. Get the files to the people. You gonna dig the nigga up and prosecute him? Oh God.
Believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
You posted on X that President Trump is, with his comments, fueling a, quote, hotbed of threats against you. Obviously, any threats to your safety are completely unacceptable. But we have seen these kinds of attacks or criticism from the president at other people. It's not new. And with respect, I haven't heard you speak out about it until it was directed at you.
Dana, I think that's fair criticism. And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics.
So she's sorry for taking part in the toxic politics, but I'm going to say that Donald Trump's putting my life in danger because, of course, that's going to help. That helps with the toxicity of the politics situation, right? Going on The View and I mean, even, you know, and I'll give AOC credit. AOC sniffed this out weeks ago. She said Marjorie Taylor Greene's mad because she didn't get Trump support for governor. And it turns out it was the truth. And then he tried to do it in private. Then you wanted to make it a public thing by not supporting some of his policies and then critiquing him on things that really you were on board with before. So now, yeah, the game has changed. Mm-hmm. So continue your apology tour.
It's very bad for our country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been something I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Mm-hmm. Is that I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions. Mm-hmm. And I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, mm-hmm. to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another, and we need to figure out a new path forward that is focused on the American people, because as Americans, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we have far more in common than we have differences. Yeah. And we need to be able to respect each other with our disagreements.
I don't believe her. That last part I don't believe. Yep, exactly, Jay Lee. Exactly. Your fake eyelashes. I mean, what was that? productive when you and don't have me up ahead defending Jasmine Crockett, but when you came at Jasmine Crockett and she licked you back, which was a great it was a great clapback. Bleach blonde, bad built, butch body. I think that was it, right? This is corny, Marjorie Taylor. This is corny. This is what happens when people get a little money, they get a little prestige, they get a little microphone in their face, and then they start to think they shit don't stink. This is what happens. But is MAGA dead? No, MAGA isn't dead. And it was so funny because Mike, when I sent him this live stream, he said, MAGA isn't dead, we're trimming the fat. And that literally reminded me of what I said in 2020, in 2021, right? This is the test, right? Because it's easy to be on the train when everything is good and everybody's eating good and everything is right and everybody is thriving. But where are you when it's not? Where were you in those 4 years when Donald Trump was scraping to get back into the White House? Where were you? Where were you? hmm You were sitting there waiting to see if he won. Because if Kamala had won, you would have been over there screaming and yelling with her team and her people, right? And so, yeah, a lot of these people mask themselves as MAGA or conservatives or Republicans, and they're not. They're just disgruntled liberals. They're disgruntled Democrats. They're furloughed Democrats who really don't have a political place right now. It's called independent. Be a good independent. Yeah. Be a good, gracious, amazing independent. That's it. You don't have to go from one side. And I understand people like to be part of cliques and it's cool to be a part of a crew or whatever, but you can't just opt in and out as you see fit or bicker on the irrelevant stuff and then think you're not going to get called out for it. So yeah, MAGA's not dead. MAGA's distracted, I'd say. I think MAGA is we've invited too many people into the tent. I'll just say that. Because MAGA is not Republican. It's literally a mashup of everything, right? Democrat, Republican, independent, gay, trans, whatever. We have all types of people in the tent, right? And so when you have all of that going on, obviously there are going to be clashes, and there are obviously going to be people who are impatient. Donald Trump hasn't even been president for a year. The second term, we haven't even gotten to a year, and there's people who are already like, "Oh, I don't want to. I can't do this and that. You can't." Nobody said this was going to be sexy. Making radical change is difficult, especially in a system of checks and balances, because you can't just go in and blow everything up. You still have to work within the confines of the Constitution. And so things may take a little longer. Things, Mike Johnson he alleges that even though the House was on break since September, that a lot has gotten done since that time. And just because they weren't voting on things doesn't mean they weren't working. And he also claims that he hasn't taken a day off in 2 years. I don't know how much of that is true. Only time will tell. All I know is by the time we get to tax season, there better be some things that people can really sink their teeth into and really get behind these candidates for 2026, especially with a lot of these open seats, vulnerable seats. And also saw that Donald Trump lashed out at Indiana because they refused to redistrict, because the Republicans there refused to redistrict. Look, it's their state. They can do what they want with it. But MAGA's not dead. And MAGA will continue on in whatever capacity. MAGA is still millions and millions and millions and millions of Americans. So a couple hundred disgruntled people don't stop the show. That's it. See how that works? Whether they're known, whether they're unknown, who cares? No monkey stops the show. MAGA is going to continue. MAGA will continue to be great. Support Donald Trump where you see fit, critique him where you see fit, and that's what you should be doing as somebody who hired Donald Trump to do a job. Do not worship politicians. Of course, I know that's hard for some of you, but I saw a post yesterday that said if everything Donald Trump does is bad, not you're in a cult. I forgot the word that they use, but you're brainwashed. That's what they said. If everything Donald Trump does is bad, you're brainwashed. And then they also flipped it and said if everything Donald Trump does is great, you're brainwashed. So don't be brainwashed. You know, use your common sense, like R. Kelly said. Oh man, yes. Critique where you see fit. Say I don't necessarily like that. I don't understand it. Doesn't mean you don't support them anymore. It just means you don't like that Iran thing. I still didn't support that. I don't support all of this help going to Israel. I don't support that. I think we need to be more active in terms of geopolitics, terms of overseas. We need to be in these countries that are killing Christians. That's the countries we need to be in. Nigeria and Sudan, Republic of Congo. That's where we need to be right now. Boots on the ground. Protecting the Christians of those nations. That's where we need to be as a Christian nation. Because regardless of how many of these musties get into office, America was founded on Christian principles. And Islam will never take over America. Not over my dead body. Anyway, that's our show for today. I appreciate y'all for watching. Hopefully I made my point clear. If you would like to support, wait. Oh, yeah. If you would like to support the channel, you can go on over to AJsRANTroom.com. That's AJsRANTroom.com. It's funny, I'm not wearing anything from the store today, but we got this cool white liberal fatigue shirt. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got sweatshirts, we got sweatpants. It's gray sweatpants season, so go grab you a pair of gray sweatpants. We got gym bags, duffel bags, all types of great things for you. So go over there and support the channel. If you would like to buy me a coffee, or in this case a tea, you can go to buy me a coffee on your app and punch in AJ's Rant Room, or go to buymeacoffee.com/AJ's Rant Room. We also you can drop a cash app at AJ's Rant. And I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and that's all I got for y'all today. Peace.